Superstitions, in my opinion, are one of the most unusual things I've ever heard in my life. They are so unreasonable, yet they cause some kind of cautiousness within people that normally shouldn't happen. Here's one superstition that I've heard. While I was growing in South Korea, my parents often told me that you should never turn your electric fan on pointed towards you as you sleep. Now, my reaction to that was, are you out of your mind? It's over 100 degrees outside. I'm going to die of heat as I sleep. But then again, their response was, no, you're going to die if you turn the electric fan on pointed towards you as you sleep. Well, the superstition holds that when a person turns an electric fan on pointed towards him as he sleeps, he will die either of asphyxiation or hypothermia. Don't worry, it's not true. I've done it multiple times and I'm still alive today. However, it was a serious threat to Koreans. I've seen news reports reporting that people die due to electric fans. And my relatives tell me that people die from electric fans. My dad, to this day, tells me that I shouldn't use electric fans in my sleep. I don't know if he's joking or not, but what's important is that he still tells it to me to this day. And from this superstition, I've learned that cultural beliefs, no matter how silly they are, will continue to impact us to this day. And that's the focus of my talk today, how cultural beliefs impact us right now. One impact that cultural beliefs have on us is that they change the way we think, the way we perceive the world, and the way we act. To exemplify this, I want to bring up another popular belief within South Korea. I call it the blood type belief. And it's the belief that blood types can determine your dominant personality. For example, an A blood type would be the shy people, the perfectionist. The B blood types, the opposite of A blood types, are usually people who are outgoing and sometimes selfish. The O blood types are the people who are very stubborn. AB blood types are people who have unique traits within society. So, how does this belief change the way we think? Well, for example, I know that in Korea, on blind dates, people will often ask each other, what kind of blood type do you have? Depending on how they answer, they change the way they treat the other person, and they have this preloaded image of what the other person's personality is before they even get to know each other. I know that when I first heard this belief in 8th grade, I went around and asked my friends what their blood types were. And that changed the way I viewed my friends. Automatically, I put their personalities into these 4 neat categories of disposition. If I had an A blood type friend, I would assume that he was very shy. If I had a B blood type friend, I would assume that he was very outgoing. Now, the fan belief and the blood type belief, they're very silly examples. They really don't make sense in real life. But they continue to persist within our society. Why is that so? Why is it that cultural beliefs that don't make sense at all continue to survive within our culture? Well, my answer to that is that cultural beliefs are an important bonding agent between people. Let me explain. Going back to the fan belief, if I were to meet a new Korean that I don't know anything about, it's going to be awkward at first talking to that person. But if I bring up this, if I ask him, hey, you know this little superstition in South Korea where fans can kill you? And then he might answer, yeah, my parents told me that when I was little. I'd be like, me too. And then we laugh about it, we talk about it, we joke about it, and automatically we'd be closer that way. Going back to the blood type belief, who in this room know their blood types? By show of hands. All right, and who in this room are O blood types? Me too! We connect this way. Now, again, the fan belief and the blood type superstitions, they're very, light examples of how cultures can connect people. A more serious example of how culture can really bond people is this part of Korean tradition where we have to hold an annual memorial for our dead ancestors. Now, during these memorials, we have a portrait of our ancestor. We put food around the portrait as a gift to our ancestors, and then we pray to the ancestors for good luck. Now, although it may seem very solemn, sad, and gloomy in times, I think this is a great example of how culture can really unite people. My relatives in South Korea live very far from each other. Some of my relatives live in the US. And therefore, it's very hard for us to communicate and really relate to each other. However, in these memorials, all my relatives from both the US, from Korea, come under one building praying to the same person. And that way we can relate to each other. And as we relate to each other, we talk to each other, we interact with each other, and that way, during these times, I feel like we are all one coherent family. So why is it that cultural beliefs are able to connect people so well? That's because people like finding similarities in uncomfortable situations. And therefore, when we find cultural similarities between another person, then it's so much easier to interact with them and socialize with them. In a serious example like the memorial, it's very easy to see how cultures can connect people. However, we tend to overlook the smaller moments that also bond people. Smaller moments like laughing over a superstition. So, the next time you hear a superstition like a fan is trying to kill you, don't dismiss it so quickly, because it's those little parts of culture that's able to unite people so well. Thank you.